Back in June of this year, on the occasion of the No Kings protests throughout America, I recited Shelley's sonnet Ozymandias. Now that we've had new protests throughout America, again with the theme of No Kings, and these protests seem to have been even more massive this time round, I thought it might be appropriate to read from Shelley's longer poem, The Mask of Anarchy. This is perhaps the most powerful political poem in the English language. Shelley wrote it on the occasion of what came to be known as the Peterloo Massacre. That is, a massacre that was carried out in St. Peter's Field near Manchester, when peaceful protesters who had gathered together in a rally in support of parliamentary reform were attacked by mounted militiamen. At least 8 people were killed and many more were severely wounded. This was an unprovoked attack. Shelley heard about the massacre and immediately started work on this poem. It was written, you might say, in a white heat of rage. It's written in tetrameter of quatrains. Sometimes the stanzas are of 5 lines, and the language is simple and direct. As I say, a very, very powerful political poem. The poem is 372 lines long, so I'm not going to read it all. I'll read the first 11 stanzas in which Shelley describes this vision of this ghastly masquerade in which he sees the forces of anarchy parading by. I'll read these 11 stanzas in which he refers to many of the leading figures of the current administration, and then I will read the final 2 stanzas of the poem in which he exalts the power of passive resistance. And these stanzas were often quoted by Mahatma Gandhi. The Mask of Anarchy, written on the occasion of the massacre at Manchester. As I lay asleep in Italy, there came a voice from over the sea, and with great power it forth led me to walk in the visions of poesy. I met Murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. All were fat, and well they might be in admirable plight, for 1 by 1 and 2 by 2 he tossed them, human hearts to chew, which from his wide cloak he drew. Next came Fraud, and he had on, like Eldin, an ermined gown. His big tears, for he wept well, turned to millstones as they fell. And the little children, who round his feet played to and fro, thinking every tear a gem, had their brains knocked out by them. Clothed with the Bible as with light, and the shadows of the night, like Sidmouth next, Hypocrisy on a crocodile rode by. And many more destructions played in this ghastly masquerade, all disguised even to the eyes, like bishops, lawyers, peers, or spies. Last came Anarchy. He rode on a white horse splashed with blood. He was pale even to the lips, like death in the apocalypse. And he wore a kingly crown, and in his grasp a sceptre shone. On his brow this mark I saw: I am God and King and Law. With a pace stately and fast, over English land he passed, trampling to a mire of blood the adoring multitude. And a mighty troop around with their trampling shook the ground, waving each a bloody sword for the service of their Lord. And now the final 2 stanzas. And these words shall then become like oppression's thundered doom, ringing through each heart and brain, heard again, again, again. Rise like lions after slumber in unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth like dew, which in sleep had fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few.